Thank you all for being here today. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to budget. So according to an Intuit Mint study that was conducted in April of 2020, it was found out that an estimated 65% of Americans nationwide do not know how to budget. Now, us being, of course, the fiscally responsible adults that we all are, we can see this as being problematic. And in order to counter that, today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to responsibly budget. And I've simplified it down into 4 simple steps, which would include gathering your financial documents to determine your income. Step 2 would be gathering financial documents to determine your expenses. Third would be determining your financial standings. And the final step would be adopting a budget philosophy. Now, moving into step 1, you're going to be wanting to gather your financial documents to determine your income. Financial documents that could help you determine this will include like your pay stubs from your jobs, W-2 tax forms, bank statements, or just anything of that matter where it'll show the payment that you're receiving for the service you have done. Does anybody have any questions about this?
I do. Now, is this based on gross income or your net income?
So when you're determining your income, what you're going to want to be doing is you do not want to use your gross income because although that is the total amount of income, that is not considering taxes included. So what you're going to want to use for adopting your budget is the net income.
Okay.
Moving on to step 2, you're going to want to gather financial documents to determine your expenses. Now, documents that will help you do this will include utility bills, groceries, your gas that you may need, rent or mortgage, just things of this nature. Moving on to step 3, you're going to want to determine your financial standings. So what I've done for this is I've totaled up my income, so my net income. This is considering after taxes have been taken out. If this step does not apply to you in terms of taxes, do not worry about this. So for income, on my first job, I get paid $1,800 a month, and then my second job, I net about $400 a month on average. So that equates to $2,200 a month. Moving on to my expenses, I pay $500 in rent, $160 in gas, $40 in groceries, and then $140 into my college supplies. So what this will include is $840 total. So as you can see, I make more income than expenses. So I'll have a little more leeway once I actually get to adopt my budget philosophy. Moving on to the final step is actually adopting a budget philosophy. So by budget philosophy, I mean adopting like your percentages of how much you're going to allocate of your actual income. So Senator Elizabeth Warren in 2005 in one of her books, she had coined this, or she had popularized this term called the 50-30-20 rule. What this is that she believes in order for Americans to like be more financially responsible, when you're adopting a budget, you should allocate 50% of your income towards your essentials / needs. So this does not include like going to Netflix, going out, getting a gym membership. It does not include any of this. What your essentials does cover, however, is your rent or mortgage, utilities, gas, things that are essential to keep you going in your everyday life. Now, moving into the final 2, savings and your wants. This part is a little complicated because each person is different, but you get assigned however many of the remaining 50% that you want. So what I like to do for my budget personally is allocate 30% of the remainder going to my savings. So savings would include like a rainy day fund, if you're saving up for like a trip or anything like that nature, debt repayment, or even just as an emergency fund in case something unforeseen happens. And then finally, I put the remaining 20% into the wants. So the wants, this is going to include your gym membership, if you're going to buy a video game, going out. Think of it as like your entertainment or anything of this nature. It's very simple. So again, on the bottom, I put that my income is $2,200 a month, and then my expenses is $840 a month. So as I stated earlier, each person is going to be very different, and this is just for an individual. It's not for a couple, so please take that into consideration. And then finally is actually enacting the budget in practice. So everybody thinks that budgeting is very hard or just very difficult in general. However, the best way to enact a budget is actually stick with it for a little bit and see if it's feasible for you. Because everybody will say that it's hard and you can't do it. However, if you actually do stick with it, then you could actually say like, yes, I have actually tried budgeting, and then you could just adjust accordingly. Thank you guys again, and have a good day.